Hey y'all, I want to welcome you back to Purpose University, your source of inspiration as you seek to create your best life and be your most authentic self. I am your host, Dr. Eve, and I am so glad that you have decided to join me again. If this is your first time tuning in, I want to welcome you to the party. No, seriously, today is a party. I am celebrating not just another birthday, but today marks a year of me having launched the Purpose University podcast. You all, I have been so thrilled by the love that you all have shown, by the continued support. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you a million times. I really can never say thank you enough because it means so much to me that my dreams have become a reality because of those of you who believe in me. So again, I say thanks. Seeing that it has been a year and I'm a very reflective person, I thought that it was fitting to really just have a conversation with you today about some of the things that I have really noticed over the past year of my life. And I think that by doing so, maybe you can take that nugget or two and apply it to your own life, or just think on it and how you could begin to walk on a path where you were just oozing with happiness and joy. Because that's what I think life is about. It's about finding your happy place and truly living out whatever purpose has been assigned to you. So I want to start by saying, first things first, you should expect great things to happen to you. I don't know why, but we as a people have the tendency to expect the worst in a lot of cases. We tend to be doubtful and we tend to worry. But if you can change your perspective and start to expect the best to happen to you, start to expect great things to come into your life, they will. I say that because what you focus on, it grows. The thing that you put the most energy into is what you see. If you say, oh, this person's mistreating me, this person may not even be mistreating you. But if you focus on all the bad things that a person does and you never appreciate the good, you will see more bad than good, and you will expect more bad than good to come out of that relationship. So start to expect great things. Start to expect great things to happen in your businesses, in your relationships, and any endeavor that you have. Because when you say and believe and you speak great things happen in your life, they will happen to you. Which brings me to number 2. Gratitude changes everything. Gratitude will take a rainy day. And you're like, man, it's raining. I don't want to go outside. But then it's like, man, we wouldn't have these beautiful trees if it weren't for the rain. We wouldn't have these beautiful flowers if it wasn't for the rain. It may be even that you find yourself sometimes feeling a little bit more sad than what you used to because life has changed so much. It's not what it used to be. But the gratitude is that the seasons change. And you know that where you are right now is not where you will be always. So focus on gratitude. Gratitude changes everything. My third thing is be gentle with yourself. I have really learned this year that oftentimes we are our worst critics. And to be not just our worst critics, but then to also perceive that the world is criticizing us too can be a whole lot. So what I encourage you to do today is take a step back sometimes and to really say, hey, I'm doing the best that I can do. Because really, the best that you can do is all that you can really ask for of yourself and anybody can ask of you. And if you know that you wake up every day of your life and you give your absolute best to every aspect of who you are, go to sleep with no regret and wake up the next morning and go out and get it again, because you know your limits. You know what you are capable of. You know what you're doing. And really, that's what matters. So be gentle with yourself. The world is hard enough for you, so you don't have to make it any more complicated than what it needs to be. I mean, that it is life. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Another thing that I find is that we all need a safe place where we can be vulnerable. Oh, a safe place where we can be vulnerable works wonders, because as we're all going through some stage of growth, be it in business, be it in a relationship, be it in school, we are trying to figure out how this thing called life works. Even when I'm learning people are 50, 60, 70 years old, we never stop changing. We never stop discovering. So find a safe space where you can just let it all out. However you're feeling, being it's journaling or talking to a friend or going to therapy, I encourage you to really take care of your mental and emotional and spiritual health, because it's important. And being vulnerable and being able to say what you need and being able to get the feedback and the guidance that you need to go forward is absolutely necessary for you to create your best life, for you to live your best life. You have to have your ducks in a row. And so whatever it takes for you to get that, I say do it. Absolutely do it. Clap for other people. When you see people around you doing well, it does not hurt you to be happy for them. Sometimes I think that people believe that to clap for somebody else means it negates their own success, but it does not. Clapping for other people is sending out positive vibes and good energy. And what happens when we celebrate for others, in return, people will celebrate for us. And I'm not saying that's always, but what I am saying is when you can cheer other people on and you can say, good job, I see you, I'm proud of you, that matters, rather than, oh, who does he think he is? Oh, who does she think she is? Or I'm not going to say nothing because they think they all that. The spirit of jealousy only manifests greater in your life, and it just leads to nothing but a dead end. So when you see people doing good, clap for them, because not only are you putting out there, hey, do your thing and live your best life, but what I believe God and the universe does, it sends back to you what you need to have your best life. And for you to feel free to be who you are and to know that you will be celebrated just for who you are and not what other people want you to be. Yeah. And so to that note, I would also say maybe this is a season to push your boundaries. And what I mean by pushing your boundaries is explore territory that is unfamiliar to you. One of the things I did this year was a tour with my partner, Debbie L. London, and it was something I can't even tell you I ever imagined that I would do. And the fact that we did it just blew my mind, and it was one of the most exciting things that I'd done this year. It was so much to look forward to. It was planning. It was high energy. The relationship that evolved was just beautiful, but it really pushed the boundaries for both of us, because here we were, two very new entrepreneurs saying, hey, let's do this. But pushing the boundaries really means that you are just really seeing what you can and cannot do. And by figuring out what you can and cannot do, you can go forth and work more in your strengths. And when you work from a place of strength, you find that you're more productive and you feel like the work that you're doing is more meaningful. So really push the boundaries if you can, because there's so much to be discovered, and you can't discover things unless you have put yourself out there. The next thing I'd say is communicate. While I have done a lot this year, something I've had to do more of is communicate, and you can never communicate enough. And definitely in taking on so many projects, between having a tour, speaking engagements, launching the apparel, and writing the book. Yeah, that was a lot. But when I say communicate, that is, you have to let people know where you are. Or when you have needs, you have to let people know what you need. You can't be mad at people for not supporting you in whatever it is you're doing if you are not opening your mouth. As they say, a closed mouth don't get fed, right? So I would say whatever you need, communicate. If you need more support, communicate. If you're working on a business plan and don't know what you're doing, communicate. If you need a mentor to give you advice about something, they have no idea. People can't read your mind. So communicate. People appreciate it when you communicate. And I also know that by communicating, you again strengthen relationships. And while this is not on my list, this is a great way to just say it. I have learned this year that relationships are really everything. And I've always known relationships are important, but really from being an entrepreneur and from being a married woman, being a best friend, becoming an aunt, there are so many aspects and dynamics of my life that I realized what my success and sometimes failure looks like is contingent on the relationships that I have in my life. Being able to find a peace of mind, being able to get further along in a business venture, being able to come home to a safe space. All of that is contingent on relationships. So don't negate the relationships in your life. If you can, nurture those relationships. And if a relationship is not healthy for you, if it's not good for you, yeah, you're going to have to cut that one off. And that's perfectly fine. I said, but nurturing relationships is really important. And nurturing a relationship doesn't mean that you always have to be on the phone texting or calling and emailing somebody. It just means that you find a nice happy medium for you and whoever that person is, and don't let that thing fall by the wayside. I remember hearing that there was a study done at Harvard over the course of maybe like 70 years, and something that the participants in the study had really helped the researchers to show was that at the end of a person's life, people don't really worry about how much money they made or how many awards they got or how big of a house they lived in. What ends up mattering the most was the relationships in their life. So if you can go ahead and embrace that thought process and that mentality now, I believe that it will definitely change some things for you if that's what you so seek. Speaking of change, my next point is about really positioning yourself. And what I'll say to that point is, if there is something that you say that you want and there's something that you need, put yourself in a place to be ready to receive that thing. If you are trying to get a new car, make sure you're saving. Make sure you know what the insurance is going to cost. Make sure you've done your research on that car to know if that car is even the right fit for you. So that when it's time for you to go to the lot and buy the car, you will be ready. Position yourself. If you say that you are in the process of wanting to take a trip to Mexico, to position yourself means to find out what it takes to get to Mexico, how much it's going to cost to get to Mexico, and if you have what you need, passport wise, time off from work to even take that trip. Like, position yourself. But I would also say a part of positioning yourself is that it's having, again, that expectation that this good thing is going to happen to you. And so when you do position yourself, again, you prepare yourself for being able to receive that thing that you so desire. So positioning yourself means to say that you want something and you are doing what it takes to be able to get whatever that thing is, so that your expectation just isn't in your head, but you are making that thing a reality. And last but most certainly, I want to say, don't forget to have fun. Oh my goodness, don't forget to have fun. I can't tell y'all, I have laughed this year. I have cried this year. I have cried this year. Laughed. I have laughed. You'd probably think I'm a crazy person. But life is a journey, and life is all about going up and coming back down and going up and coming back down. But in all of the things that are happening, do not forget to have fun. Fun is essential for the soul. Fun is saying, I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy myself because life is short. And having fun, it makes the experiences so much better and so much more meaningful at the end of the day. Because the thing about life is that sometimes we get so caught up in being so serious all the time and having to go, or be, or do, that we do. I know, but we get so caught up in just the serious elements of life that we forget that fun exists, and it's important to have fun. It's important to kick back. It's important to enjoy yourself. And especially for those of you who are workaholics, take a minute and have fun. Matter of fact, right, pause this podcast, go find a video that's going to make you laugh and come back, because really fun is everything. And so, yeah, folks, those are my few things in no particular order, but just things that I think are important to share. And, you know, I like to have a conversation. So this podcast is not intended to be this extremely formal kind of thing. It's just to really engage and to share thoughts and to spread love. And while I'm thinking about spreading love, when I say clap for other people, major shout out to my girl Lillian, who you've heard in the background of this entire podcast. I want y'all to go check her out. I'm going to put her links, information in the notes. Lily and I have known since high school, and she is a true queen. She has done nothing but elevate and motivate and support me since I stepped out into my own entrepreneur journey. As a matter of fact, she was one of the first people who had hired me to come in to speak to her students and was the one who afforded me the opportunity to even make my promotional video. So big ups to you, Lillian. Y'all got to understand, when you help people get ahead and you support people, you never know how that support is going to come back, because she didn't know I was going to use her song today. I have been watching her grow and bud. She is an amazing individual. So again, check her out. Love her music. Love what she's doing. Love you, Lily. All right, folks. Well, that is really all that I have on today. And I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you did, the biggest favor you can do for me is share this with a friend. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. And that's how this thing will continue to grow. All right. So spread love. Love yourself. Don't forget to be resilient, intentional, and authentic in all that you do. I'm out. Peace. She keep it clean. Bite me down anytime she step out on the scene.